All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Comment Force number 54. And welcome to the first ever Comment Force Live. We're so happy to have you here and so happy to be doing this in front of all of the commenters themselves. Hopefully, the people that commented will be here. I'm your host, Zach. I've got Gabe alongside me. It's been a wild week, Gabe. We had Claire City bringing us some donut love. We had this weird trading card patent that maybe wasn't a trading card patent at all. And we had a Nindies. That was this week, right?
Yeah.
That was this week with a whole lot of Nindies and then Arc and then Hyper Light Drifter. A lot of announcements this week. And then the sad news from late last night, which is that Hollow Knight is not ready. Did you have any sad news in your life this week, Gabe?
Yes, I had to take Raylan to the vet. You know this.
Sick cat.
Yeah, I got a cat recently a couple weeks ago, and he's a great cat, loving him to death, but he got a little sicky, so we had to take him to the vet, but he should be okay.
We hope.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to be memorialized in Smash Bros. Raylan for Smash 5.
He's going to be all right. He's good.
I think he'll be just fine. Well, thank you as always for all of your comments, guys and girls. Another fantastic week of your thoughts, your theories, your ideas, your suppositions, and even your oddities. We had some strange comments that me and Gabe were just going over. The way this is going to work is we're going to go over your comments, and then you guys can respond to the comments in the chat. We're not taking new comments. They've already been decided, but we want to have the discussion involve you all out there. So we'll read the comment, we'll talk about the comment, and then we'll take some of your feedback. Welcome, by the way, Lucas. Thank you for subscribing and sponsoring us. This episode of CommentForce is brought to you by Lucas Cartier.
And the letter B.
For?
Barstool. I don't know.
For Barstool?
What?
All right.
How many letters start? I mean, how many words start with B?
Beginning. Bear. Battlestar. Beats.
Beats.
There's our weekly office hours. Let's get into the comments. Evan Sinclair kicks things off for us by saying, where is Evan Sinclair? Here he is. Evan Sinclair kicks off by saying, they're definitely wrong. The Labo RC car would take less than a minute. And I saw quite a few of these saying that Nintendo's estimations are a little off, Gabe, that there's no way these things could take possibly this long.
I thought that too. Like, some of the time seem ridiculous, but you're also like very surprised by the length of the time it's going to take to make these. I'm like, okay, it just takes that long. Like, it's okay. I don't mind it. It's not going to take like 1 minute or two to do that.
I also saw, oh, baby, a big donation from Ram. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We can maybe get that Gabe's Pets request in a little bit. That'll be your advice is please save my cat, everyone. There also was sort of this thread of like speed runs for Labo, and that's absolutely what we're doing. Gabe, you and I are going to time each other and see who can build these things faster.
Well, the only issue with that is this thing better be able to withstand my building, because as you know, I'm very rough. So
you're a rough builder?
I don't want to break the Labo. And I'll show you guys Raylan towards the end of the stream, since you guys are being so generous today. Keep that in mind. But yeah, we're 100% going to have a speed run with Labo. I'm in it. I'm in.
I'm nervous. We did a speed run back in the day with Jake and Gabe unboxing their Switches. I didn't get to be a part of it, but now I get to be a part of it, so I'm pretty pumped for that.
All right. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna move us on to Van Paulson, who says, "What if it's a dock version? Like they add a GPU and a CPU to the dock and just do it that way, so people don't have to get a whole new system, but the people who want more power can get a new dock and have more power. So instead of the Switch being what is upgraded, it's just a dock.
Yeah.
A dock Pro is sort of the sentiment here.
This was talk because of that Marico data mine, the things that were uncovered about a stronger chipset, double the RAM. Still don't know what's coming of that. I still don't think it's a very big deal, but I did want to bring up dock revisions. This was something that was discussed early on. I'm like, oh, could they ever supercharge the dock? And even before we knew fully what the Switch was, of like, how much power is it going to draw from the dock? I don't think that this ever is how they do it. I don't think that they ever separate the handheld and the dock experience in this way.
Yeah, especially just because we saw the charts of how people use a Switch some time back, and a good percentage of people just use this as a handheld device.
Right.
So I don't know. Do you want to alienate them by like, hey, like the dock is going to make everything better? But
Well, I just think as the greater the disparity between the tablet and the dock, the harder things get.
Right?
That gets a little bit tricky, right? Like now all of a sudden it's one thing if we're going to say, hey, we're going to boost the Switch, so now okay, it can have better performance. But if we're just going to boost the dock, at some point, I don't even know what that does to development, but it seems like it would be quite tricky, right? It seems like it would be very difficult to say, like, okay, now the dock can do 4K and the Switch is still back on this 720. Like, I personally don't think dock revision is something that's going to happen. I think if we get a revision, it will be a system-wide one. But to quell all the fears, I don't think there's a Switch revision anytime soon. I think that what's going on with Marico is under the hood, and if anything, it will be a minute upgrade to tighten up the lock on piracy, and then also in homebrew, and maybe to smooth out a few hardware things, but nothing that's going to be very noticeable to the fan base. Yes.
Okay.
And we do have a number of chats here, which I will bring in before we get to the comment. Thank you very much. It's hard. Didn't really consider how to integrate these chats with CommentForce, but anyhow, D-Zug, we'll take this one just because we didn't make it clear. What is your opinion about Amiibo? I freaking love Amiibo. I have every one. I got to go grab today Giant Detective Pikachu, which I feel like if Gabe was going to have any Amiibo, I feel like that would be the one. You have Mega Man.
I have a few. I have Mega Man, I have the retro Mario one, and I have a Link one.
Okay.
I'm not the Amiibo man. That's definitely you.
I am the Amiibo man.
Yeah.
I just picture like my children in 20 years opening this room with every Amiibo, and it's like that scene in the Goonies where they finally uncover like the treasure underneath in the water, and it's like, holy cow, it's a massive room of glory. But what else is glorious, or what's not glorious, I should say, is that hoary D-pad Joy-Con. Raging Red, frequent commenter, big Bulbasaur guy. This kind of D-pad makes the Joy-Con look worse, in my opinion. We should get the D-pad from the Switch Pro controller. And that's something that we didn't mention in the video, but became very apparent to both Gabe and I after some extra looks. The D-pad on that hoary thing, outside of the fact that it doesn't have rumble, outside of the fact that it doesn't have motion, outside of the fact it has to be handheld, it's a very squishy looking D-pad.
We do not want squishy looking D-pads around here. Yeah, I don't think I care to purchase that. Pro controller is more than covering my D-pad needs, and I do think that's how Nintendo intends things to be, right?
Mm-hmm. I really like that point you made on that video, Gabe, of like saying that maybe one of the reasons Nintendo hasn't done it is because they do want to sell you that Pro controller. They do want that to be more of the like hardcore dedicated gamer experience.
Yeah,
I think that's agree. I think this kind of goes. We're still going to check it out. We're still going to try it. I'm still interested to see. The D-pad, yeah, Ram says I don't like the look of the D-pad there either. But I still want to check it out just to see what that experience is like. I saw some other people, interestingly, say that they feel that the 4-button D-pad allows for quite a bit of precision, and that's kind of a way to go.
Yeah, I seriously do not mind it. Even when like playing Celeste on like Switch, like the D-pad's not something that bothered me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will move on to the next comment here by Christopher King, who says, more garbage indies, Owen Wilson. Wow, okay. And then, David T says, Christopher King, there are a lot of good titles in this video, though. And then Uncle Adams, good spelling of Uncle there, says, Christopher King, sorry, but calling Hyper Light Drifter garbage is actually sacrilege. So
now, I think that we have now realized, because this was on the video where we thought it was a great list. It was like Arc, Hyper Light Drifter, 9 Monkeys of Shaolin, like this really strong list. I think in general, no matter the quality, there will always be the indies are garbage outlook. I do very much, though, agree with Uncle and David that like we have seen as of late a strengthening of the indie slot. Like I feel like the announcements we got in the indies, the announcements we got after, it feels like there is an emphasis on bringing quality to the platform. And we'll touch on it later in the video, but like it's showing and it's working because the top 10 sellers on Switch are all quality products, right? The top 10 eShop indies, they are rising to the top, and Nintendo has promised better way to surface those. So I think we kind of have to put the garbage indies thought to bed. It seems like it's working itself out.
Yeah, I feel like the indies that don't deserve mindshare aren't getting it because the discoverability is so crazy anyways.
Hmm.
Nintendo, like you mentioned, is making it a point to fix that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. The cream is rising to the top. And I just wanted to thank Michael and a couple of other people here for the super chat donations. You guys are very much appreciated, including you, Gino Cruz. But yeah, you made a solid point there that the top 10 selling indie games, very, very like solid list.
Yeah. And I don't know. There's always going to be that fluff that's not necessary on any platform, PlayStation 4, Steam, Xbox One, Switch. But when we look at what they're bringing, Mark of the Ninja, Lumines, West of Loathing, Arc, there,
The Messenger,
it's
that's like the big one now.
yeah. There's a lot of really good stuff, and people just have to give it a chance. And it's an industry-wide problem. It's not a Switch problem per se. It's one that I have personally just come to terms with this year. But like, if you treat indies as just games, you will find a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of quality. And it's something that I hope the Switch continues to deliver so that we can, you know, continue to push for that. But it's very apparent that quality is rising. And Hyper Shizo thinks quality is rising so much that, well, Nintendo has already won E3. Now, this was in reference to the Super Smash Brothers Switch tournament being announced alongside a Splatoon 2 tournament. Obviously, we knew Smash Bros. Were going to be there. It's big news that it's going to be in this big tournament capacity. And it really shows that, A, they're pushing the game heavily at E3, and B, that it is close to release. This isn't going to be a case of like, oh, the game gets bumped out of 2018. I mean, if they're comfortable having the top players in the world have a tournament in E3 and broadcasting that, I feel like, yes, this game is going to get that September launch that we've been expecting.
Yeah, the game's coming. It's not getting pushed. I hope that whatever new characters are available, other than Inklings, we don't know it's a new game. We don't know anything. Oh no, go ahead.
I was just going to add, maybe you're going to address it. Do you think that we get a limited like demo Smash tournament, or do you think it's full on roster, full on like they're gonna?
Yeah, I think it's full roster. I mean, we have to look at it a couple ways. If it's a brand new game, no full roster.
Okay.
If it's a re-release, then yeah, pros pick who you want. Inklings are there, and a couple new characters might be there. I'm just so excited, Zach, because as you know, sometimes when you have to wait in these lines at E3, they're not short at the Nintendo booth. You can always just look up at that big old screen and be watching the tournaments. So at the very least, we'll have that going on.
Yeah.
A lot of gameplay to watch.
I think the sort of subtle point here is I wonder if this indicates that Smash is not the major booth game. If Smash is going to have this huge presence at their arena, does another title sort of take over the display on the actual show floor in the way that Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild have done?
I just can't think of what game would do it. And Pokemon is not. No, Pokemon. Like dude, Pokemon has never been at E3.
Nintendo's doing things different. They're on top of the world. They're making money. They're bumping out games. Their third party support is strengthening. Would it feel weird to you to have Smash have this big tournament present, but then also it's the game with statues at the LA Convention Center?
No, I wouldn't think that's that weird, but yeah.
I'm interested to see if that pans out. But yeah, it's cool, and it shows that it's like right there. And just for further information, the Smash tourney is going to be like the best of the best, but the Splatoon tourney you can qualify for, which I think is a cool little thing for Nintendo. Gabe, you claim that you're now a Splat God, so maybe you should get in on that.
I am the Splat God. All right,
I want that face on a shirt, please.
Okay, let's move along. Lucas Pfeffer says NBA Playgrounds is just on sale all the time. Creep comes in and says lots of good titles. Surprised Rocket League didn't make it.
That's one that I am surprised it isn't there. I think that's a great point.
It sold so much. I'm sorry, Rocket League sold more than NBA Playgrounds. Maybe it didn't qualify. Like like Psyonix, like yes, totally independent, but maybe it just didn't qualify. Like it's too big.
It is a good point that NBA Playgrounds is on sale a lot, and a lot of people did say, to its credit, Gabe, that the game has gotten a lot better with patches and that it's a pretty darn good time now.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out after the download the game all over again in a better version. I haven't checked it out since then, but yeah, I mean, I'll take y'all's word for it.
Yeah, Rocket You think Rocket League sold more like Fast RMX and stuff?
Yeah, dude, there's no way it didn't, right? Rocket League is in the top like constantly, like in the top whatever sellers like week by week.
I mean, Raging Red is a good point that many people already have Rocket League on other platforms, though.
I still think it's sold, honestly.
I wonder if they consider it or not. Let's move along.
Okay.
MKitten13 says that this list of eShop titles proves that quality sells. The vast majority of this list has been echoed throughout the community, hailed as great experiences we need to try for ourselves, and I find that my own eShop favorites, SteamWorld Dig 2, Golf Story, Stardew Valley, are widely beloved and recommended. Some of the successes probably helped with the traction of getting the game into the top selling list, but I do think the community helped as much, if not more. It has taught me to pay even more attention to the community reception of a new title and to give a game a chance if I keep seeing it being recommended. I did not expect to love Golf Story, yet it became a favorite. I think this is a really neat point and a really good one. You know, as we're members of the community, you guys are all members of the community, many of the games that were championed are on that list. And how often does that happen? Not very.
Yeah, not very. Yeah.
So it's really cool that Celeste, SteamWorld Dig, Golf Story, like those are the titles on the top of the list, and those are the ones that we definitely champion and you guys champion. And it is a little bit, I see what you're saying. I'm kidding, of like the self-fulfilling prophecy of like getting on the bestsellers and then you continue to be a bestseller. But even without the filters or the search system we'd like on eShop, it does seem like in most cases, a lot of greatness is getting where it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of things that need to be, we need nurses in the world. And Ryan the Nurse gives a $5 super chat donation and says that we helped them along the way becoming a nurse. So congrats on that.
Congrats on that. That's awesome. I remember back when he was you were working on that or studying for that. There was a CommentForce comment. That's really awesome.
Yeah,
very glad to hear that.
That's really, really cool.
Just to take a little comment break here. D-Zug says, have you guys played Attack on Titan 2 yet? We have not, but we absolutely mean to get to that. Just been kind of a crazy week.
All right, let's move on to the next comment here, which is by Fruity Pebbles. Wow, Nintendo hasn't done this well with third party in a long time. Crash, Bayonetta, Doom, Skyrim, South Park, Wolfenstein 2, and now Ark. This is a crazy time to be a Nintendo fan. Gotta give it to them for coming back from the Wii U strong. And then Sander Cornet responds to Fruity Pebbles and says, Nintendo really is doing amazing this time around. And then Ale says, it's better, but they have a long way to go. They got a lot of late ports. Late ports are going to be a problem for the foreseeable future. I feel like. And honestly, maybe even through just like the life cycle of the Switch. I feel like that's just going to be a reality where, because, look, these ports aren't generally, for the most part, being made by the company that made the game. They give them to somebody else. Certain companies are having great success in just porting older games to Switch, and that's perfectly fine. The games still continue to sell well, and it seems because a lot of Nintendo fans didn't get to play that many of these, it's almost functioning as a new game. For us, it's not, because we're like really hardcore about gaming and you know, we play a lot. But for a lot of these people, Nintendo fans, when's the last time they played like a South Park game like that?
Yeah. Well, when you look at it from that perspective, you look at that list, even the one that Fruity Pebbles gave here, Crash, Bayonetta, Doom, Skyrim, Wolfenstein. Like, there's no way 3 years ago you would ever think that that grouping of games would be on a Nintendo platform. There's just no way. So from that standpoint, it is really incredible. It's really quite remarkable that they were able to attract even these IP. The bummer is that they are older, but I do feel, in response to Ali, that eventually the tide does turn. I feel like putting Crash, Bayonetta, Doom, Skyrim, South Park, at some point then when there's a new game of that series or in that vein, we're going to get it. And I think that, I don't know if it's this E3, but I hope that eventually we do see that tide turn of, hey, if these franchises can be on there and work in their older iterations, why not do it day and date? And I hope that is sort of the conversion that happens in the back half of this year. And I think
hope
it will.
so too, but I'm a little pessimistic about it, just because, again, I feel like these ports for Switch aren't being made by like the exact same companies that are making the games.
Yeah.
So that might take like a little bit extra. I mean, I have no idea.
On the development side, I could see how that becomes a factor, but let's just take Wolfenstein. Bethesda really supporting the Switch. When Wolfenstein, a new Wolfenstein comes out, why not move it to Switch as well?
Yeah.
I hope. I think. Shout out to Lego for always bringing their games day and date to Switch.
Yeah, I mean, and they seem to be continuing that with whatever next game is coming.
Lego Incredibles.
It might be incredible. Zach, you messed up my pun. All right,
what was your pun?
As I was gonna say,
It might be incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a pun or just using the exact word.
Okay.
But a lot of people, Ram has a good point here. Square and Ubisoft got Switches back with third-party exclusives like they did 3DS and Wii U. And hopefully we see more out of Ubisoft. I think, honestly, they're going to be one of the most interesting players at E3 for Nintendo because of their commitment and because of their success on both an original level and a port level. But at the same time, there's the weirdness of, like, Steep. And I don't know why. And I wonder. So I'm very, very curious to see, like, do they come out guns blazing and say, like, hey, Splinter Cell 2018 is also on Switch, as well as we've got this new original IP. You know, I think they will be, of all the publishers, they are the ones I'm looking to sort of set the trend for Switch development.
It's exciting. You know, the DLC for Mario Plus Rabbids is still coming. That's exciting as well. I think it's just very difficult to expect things like, oh, the Division 2 coming to Switch. Like, I don't think that's happening. So
I don't know about the Division 2, but single player, you know, less games as services.
You think the next Assassin's Creed is coming to Switch? I can see a Switch only Assassin's Creed. I can see that. I just can't see like the next big entry like being ported over. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I mean that's a whole separate conversation, but sort of the idea of, do some of these publishers take the route of, we're going to make original games for Switch that aren't like, oh, ho-hum, lower quality, but like Mario Plus Rabbids, and go that route? Does Ubisoft have the studios, and is it monetarily beneficial to say, like, rather than just port Assassin's Creed, we are going to make an original, or we are going to make something completely unique? In that instance, Gabe, do you push for more unique titles from these publishers, or do you push for day and date ports?
Always unique. I
Really?
rather have, I rather have like fewer games that are different. Like, I play games on other platforms, but you know, this is just a me thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Switch is like your only console, I can understand, but I don't. If Wolfenstein had come out on Switch day and date, I don't know that I automatically would have got it on Switch, just because, you know, PC, like, it'll look so much better, it'll play so much better. So, yeah, I'm more about having unique experiences that I can't have anywhere else.
Gintoki Cruz comes with another donation. Thank you so much, by the way. Asking, is Nintendo paying these companies to be exclusive, or are the companies making the exclusive games on their own?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I don't think Nintendo is like Microsoft and throwing around like millions of dollars in these deals, but I'm sure they're definitely supporting in some way to incentivize. You know, do you think, given the success, Gabe, that Switch gets a major E3 exclusive?
Yeah.
Non-Nintendo, like a major. And I wouldn't even...
Wait, was Mario Plus Rabbids major?
Not on the scale I'm thinking.
Oh, no.
You don't think so? You don't think there is a Shadow of the Tomb Raider level exclusive for Switch from a third party?
No. I think there will be exclusives, just not on the level you're thinking.
And do you think that's because of where we are in the Switch cycle, or just a Nintendo thing?
Just the Nintendo thing.
I could honestly see a 2019 game being a big game and being announced exclusively, like from like a Capcom or even a Square.
Like, what game though? Like, okay, I mean, is a new Monster Hunter for Switch like exclusive? Like, does that count? I guess just, you know, Monster Hunter World, like.
I mean, it's a very specific, yeah, it's a very specific situation just because Monster Hunter is such a history with Nintendo. I guess I'm thinking, and I know this specifically won't happen, but I guess I'm thinking more of like, let's say Resident Evil 7 didn't have the success it did, okay? Let's say it didn't come out. So Resident Evil's kind of in a shaky space, and they say Resident Evil 7 is exclusive to Switch. Something of like that level.
I don't think so.
So I'm not saying, oh, Call of Duty exclusive, or oh, you know, Assassin's Creed exclusive, but I do wonder if we get, because what would compete with it? Old ports? I mean, I think they could really establish like a heavy hitting big game. I don't know. I'm very interested to see what E3 brings for Nintendo.
I'm interested too. But the thing I want most is just like more like good mid-tier games on Switch. Like I think of Hellblade, things like that. If we can get something on that level exclusive to Switch, I feel like that could do really, really well.
Yeah.
But we can move on to the next comment.
All right. Hudson Brooking says, to people that think the Splatoon 2 DLC is too expensive, you can think of it as you repaying Nintendo for all the free updates. Which I thought was just a very cute and clever way to think of it. It's $20. It's really not that bad considering it's bigger than the main campaign in the game. If anything, that should be what's upsetting people. That it's too cheap or that the game is too expensive, right? Not that this DLC is too expensive.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this a lot recently. I'm now bit by the Splatoon bug. I play it an awful lot. I'm playing multiplayer, like, you know, in between waiting for certain things, and I'm playing through the campaign. It's a really, really, really good game. I've even been like playing the rank modes. I'm trying to get up to rank X, and it's very difficult for me to do it, but I'm trying my hardest. I'm up to like B+ in some of the modes. Yeah, I don't think it's expensive, and yeah, great way to think about it. There has been so much free content. So if you're a fan of what they're doing over there, support by getting the Octo expansion, and you'll get another fun little addition to the single player.
I don't know if this is intentional or not, but Ronald200 says too expansive. And if that was intentional, that's a great way. I think this DLC is too expansive. Maybe not too expensive, but giving us 80 levels,
yeah,
that is freaking cool.
Okay, so last comment of the day comes from Necrobun. I don't mind pixelated games, but I need more physical games. Digital only for a system which is no cloud save thingy. He really wants cloud saves. Sean Diamond comes in and says, Limited Run Games is going to start making physical copies of some indies at a premium price. However, an example is Thimbleweed Park. $20 is a great point-and-click adventure game that will be available for pre-order on March 30th on the website for $35 physical. I already bought the game and I thought it was very good, but I'm still debating if I should double dip. This is such a Switch thing, right? When someone buys a digital game on PS4 or an Xbox One, they're like, should I also get a physical? I don't think that happens like that much. This has to be like a Nintendo thing. Like, hey, cartridges and cases, it's cool stuff.
I really think that maybe even more so than the third-party thing, this is something that I hope is fixed. I really think it is an oddity that would be so great to see wiped away, that there are just more physical games on store shelves. And, like, it's great what Limited Run's doing. I think that's fantastic. I don't think I'm someone that wants to double dip at a more expensive price point just to have it again.
Yeah.
So, getting games on store shelves, to me, and yes, I guess it goes hand in hand with third party, but to me, that's more of the issue because there's plenty of games on Switch. So I don't feel like we're at a dearth of experiences, but I do see this time and time again, how it's like, it's a weird problem, but it's an issue that there aren't that many physical store Walmart games. And I think we need more of those.
I'm like so disconnected from that now. Like, I understand it's so important, right? Like, you know, typical Midwestern American, like, we live very weird lives where we're not the way everybody else is as far as like games go. So maybe hey mom, buy me this at Walmart, like while we're already here, like buying groceries thing. Maybe that's still like super like prevalent. I don't see it anymore. It could just be us.
I think it's huge. GameStop, Best Buy.
You think so?
I think it's still such a big.
So big that like these companies are going out of business. Like Toys R Us going out of business, right? People used to buy a lot of games here. Like, hey, buy Toys R Us.
I think Toys R Us is a weird example. Shout out to Jeffrey. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know that, and you know, there's rumors of like, oh, PS5 is closer than we think, or Xbox 2 is closer than we think, and I'll be interested to see how they approach digital versus physical. But I don't think we're at a point where you can abandon that yet. And if you're a digital guy or girl with a big memory card, then there's plenty to do on the Switch.
Zach, are you a digital guy?
But say I don't have a memory card,
okay,
and I go into a store, it feels like the Switch is not doing as hot.
Why?
Because there's not a lot there. There are indie games that are in cases for more money than I can buy them for on the eShop.
Yeah, but certain things are coming. Dark Souls is going to be.
No, I know they're coming out. I guess I'm just saying, to me, I feel like and it's hard to put into words, but I feel like the visual of having a full section means a lot.
Yeah,
And
maybe I'm just so disconnected. I have no idea.
And I think that's where a lot of the confusion comes in for some people. As like hardcore Switch fans, we say, wow, there is so much on Switch. All these cool indies. Have you played Celeste? Have you played SteamWorld Dig? Have you played Golf Story? Have you played Gone? Have you played? But I think the disconnect is for people that aren't as into that. They go to the store, they see Mario and Zelda, and they see Just Dance, and
They see Mario plus Rabbids. They see Splatoon. They see Arms. There's still a lot there to see.
I think that maybe is where the crux of the whole, like, too many indies. Like, I wonder if that's where it comes in.
Since Nintendo's titles are so evergreen, right? Like, this is what they need for the foreseeable future. Like, we saw just recently Mario. I mean, Mario Kart is still selling super well. It beat out what new game was it that it beat out that we were surprised by? Odyssey. It sold more copies than Odyssey during the month. People are still going to get Mario Kart. People are still going to get Splatoon. People are still going to get all of these games for the foreseeable future. As the install base continues to grow, and make no mistake, it will grow. The 20 million Switch thing is a thing that keeps getting pushed. Nintendo thinks they can do it. And if they do, then that's just a whole bunch of more Zelda and Mario sold and Splatoon and, whatever other big game they have out there. Mario Kart's another good one. They have enough in source. They have enough, I think.
I still don't feel it. The real one says we all want that box art, which I think is a big deal. And it's a Nintendo thing. It's a handheld thing. Like collecting, 3DS cases or DS cases was a deal. And I think it's the same with Switch cartridges and Switch cases. I guess the other side of that argument, or sort of the next thing is, as much as I respect and love what Limited Run is doing and bringing more dollars and more awareness to these titles, I don't know how I feel about a big a big percentage of your retail space being taken up by over inflated indie games that have to charge more because they're a limited run.
Yeah.
And I guess we're not really seeing those in stores. I don't know. But it's strange. Let's take a couple, just like there's been a number of interesting thoughts in the chat that are related. The official toy says the fact that Burnout Paradise Remastered isn't on the Switch is a real head scratcher to me. I hope EA and Criterion realize how much money they're missing out on and get a Switch port in the pipeline. It does seem that...
I'm sorry. I was going to say, a video almost existed on the channel about that exact topic.
I wonder at what point, the money is worth the port, or like it behooves them. And that's sort of where I see this turn coming. There's going to be at one point too much money on the table to not do. And that's where I think that tide turns of like, oh, old ports to cash in to day and date ports or day and date multi-platform. Because when you do get to 20, 30 million, like, that's a lot of cash to leave on the table.
Yeah. I touched on this earlier, but you got to like contract another company to do it. And, if the port's bad, like, okay, so if company X goes and makes this port that's made by company A, the port's bad, company A still gets like the brunt of the hate. And company, yeah, like, I feel like that.
But don't make a bad port.
Well, they don't know. They're contracting the work. I don't know. Talk about the Smash tournament a little bit, Zach. We have Matthew that said that. Do you mean the Smash tournament? No. I wish it wasn't an invitational. It is. So sadly, the people that are gonna be there are like pros.
Were you at the E3 for Smash 4?
Were we? I don't know. Every E3 I've been through, I've been with you. Yes. Yeah, I think I was. I don't remember. I remember Smash being played on stage while we were there. I don't know.
Okay, so then you must have been, because I was there for the Smash 4 E3, and I thought that was handled really well because they had stations set up around the floor, and then they had a main stage where you could go to win, I think it was a t-shirt or something. This is very different. This is going to be existing outside of their show floor space. So I want to clarify that. I wonder, though, if they duplicate and if Smash is their tentpole title, I think they would do something similar as they did that E3, because that was cool.
They're still going to be showing on that big screen, though. Like I keep talking about, like that one big screen that's there, like in the Nintendo booth. They're still going to be live streaming it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think that they are viewed as separate events. Whereas the E3 that you're thinking of with Smash was being, like, what was being shown on that screen was being played live right there in front of us.
Yeah.
This tournament is not. We're obviously not going to be in it. I think it's exciting. We mentioned at the top that it does really guarantee that game is coming soon. The questions are like, how much of the roster they show, how much of the game is available to play, and then what does that mean for the rest of Nintendo's E3 show? Can you read into that and say there must be something else, or not? There's so much to talk about Fortnite too. Every video game I went to pull comments from had Fortnite discussion, and we've sort of reached this critical mass. I mean, Fortnite seems to get more and more mass as the days go on, but like the hunger for Fortnite is insane. And this is my comment of the week: is Nintendo losing out by not moving quicker on this?
Well, I mean, what can they do? Like, if the game's being ported, make no mistake. It's being worked on. Nintendo has no say in that. Like, they're not making it.
But do you think that there's any chance that they're holding it for E3?
No. I just think it's not ready.
So you think it was ready to be out?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there definitely is a huge pull for Fortnite. Peter says Mario skin in Fortnite. Do we think that happens? Do we think that Nintendo does a little dance with Epic and get some exclusive stuff?
I hope so, since it's like the last platform it's on. Do a little bit of some cool stuff. Fingers crossed, but
the only dicey thing is that's their model for making money. So I don't think it makes Nintendo fans happy if all of a sudden Mario's in that shop for,
yeah,
$20 real or whatever.
Gets a cut of it.
No, I'm just saying for fans.
Oh.
Do you want a Mario skin if it's paid?
Well, all skins are paid in that game.
Okay, so you don't think they give like a free Nintendo skin?
No.
Okay, you just think the shop is now maybe enhanced. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that. Let's
working.
Do
a couple more here. Go ahead.
Yeah, 12Ryan35 says they will need some big multiplayer games to push the launch of online service. I'm of that mindset, Ryan. I think that they may be holding Fortnite back for that to pair with Smash.
We have them.
There's no chance Fortnite dies out by September. So holding it till then to launch your service and try to maximize subscription numbers, that makes sense to me.
So what do you think about, okay, we're getting Smash, Dark Souls. I feel like they might try to push a little bit. They're doing that test, like beta / not beta thing on the Switch. So that might come into play there. And you're right, Fortnite could be like a huge player in that. I feel that. So I think those three, if you have Smash, Fortnite, and the other one that I just mentioned that I'm just totally blanking out on.
I don't know, Dark Souls, because it's coming out in May. I could see them.
September's a long way. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Using the Madden launch as something to say, I mean, the hope is that Nintendo gets Madden day and date with the other platforms, but if they didn't, that could be another one that, like, hey, online is a big deal here.
Yeah.
You got NBA around that time as well, Madden and NBA.
Yeah, that could be good.
I think there's a lot that they could push. Stephen Dudley wants to know if we have any interest in Detective Pikachu, which I feel like it's a game about your life. So
I am Detective Pikachu. If I wasn't Pikachu,
I just realized that you're waiting on me to be able to play that.
Yeah, I seriously am.
Legitimately. Let's move to advice, Gabe. The most fun and enjoyable time of the week is CommentForce advice. This time, the 54th iteration.
Some live advice. You have one?
Live life advice.
You have one?
My live life advice is going to be a very self-reflective advice. Plan ahead. Something I've never been very good at, and my family's not very good at, is planning ahead, and it creates a lot of ease in your life. So look to plan ahead, and that's in both the aspect of goal setting. Where do you want to be in 3 months? Where do you want to be in 2 months? But also just, I don't know. I feel like plans give a lot more purpose to your life and don't allow for wasted days. And it's something I'm really trying to implement of like, okay, what am I setting out to accomplish by the end of this day, by the end of this week, by the end of this month? Where do I want to be? Because time moves insanely fast. And before you know it, it'll be April, it'll be June. We'll be at E3. E3 will be over. Smash Brothers will be out. And like, what has been accomplished, what has gone on. So be diligent about your planning, about your goal setting, and maybe even write it out. I feel like actualizing things is incredibly important. I have set up the tools to do that. I have a whiteboard wall now. I have a giant calendar. I have not actually written on them, but that's the next step for me, because I think actually putting it into, physical space is huge.
Yeah. You mentioned it, and it kind of like, my advice would be like the whole stop and smell the roses thing, right? Appreciate people while you can.
It's good advice for you, Gabe.
People here don't know that I don't have a sense of smell, but I don't have a sense of smell. Fun fact for you wonderful people watching us live. But yeah, just appreciate people while they're around, because a sad reality of life is that people aren't going to always be around. And I don't mean like death necessarily. It's just, sometimes people come in and out of your life, and, someone who's super important to you today might not be tomorrow. So appreciate them while they're around. That would be my life advice.
Very good. I'll read one or two more things from chat while Gabe goes and gets his cat, because that was promised.
Oh, sure. Let me do that. All right, let me do that.
Part of the plan. So Gabe will go and get Raylan, the SwitchForce mascot of the month, and I will hang out with you guys. By the way, thank you for being here for CommentForce Live. It's going to go up as a normal video. If you're watching this not live, you already know, obviously, it's a normal video. But we want to try something different. Probably not going to happen every week, unless it's beloved, so you guys can let us know about that. But we did want to try it. It's something we've thought about since CF1. It's been requested a lot, and we had some behind-the-scenes things going on with business stuff. Couldn't, can't, can we, and anyhow, but we're good now. And so yeah, let us know what you thought. And now Gabe is back with a cat with a cone head cat. You guys ever see cone heads? Gabe, did you ever see the movie Coneheads?
Yes, I loved it. It
was terrible. Raylan is a conehead cat.
Raylan is currently a conehead, because he
such a pretty cat.
Had a little procedure. So shout out to Raylan. He's a little sick, but he's gonna be okay. We took him to the vet yesterday. His eyes are incredibly blue. Hopefully the camera can see that.
Yeah,
he's great.
It does.
Raylan is a beautiful, beautiful man.
He's smaller than I expected.
No, yeah, he's tiny. I hope he stays this size forever. I know he's not going to. But my secret hope is that my boy stays like this forever. I love him. He's great.
He's a small little guy.
Yeah, and this is Raylan, y'all.
That is Raylan. And that is CommentForce number 54, everybody. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Thank you to everyone who donated and who sponsored us. That is amazing, and we absolutely appreciate it so much. We absolutely appreciate you guys so much. Keep those comments coming. And we will have a number of daily directs this week, so be aware and ready for more live stream action. Of course, the videos will keep flowing in, and it should be a fun week. Now, I'm not sure what's on the release list for this week. I think we're kind of in a little bit of a slow period here.
Yeah, lab was what we're looking forward to now, but that's April. So
yeah, lab. But what else is this week? Let's just look real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah, go ahead. And Raylan really wants to say things, so
yeah, there's not a whole lot. We got. Not a whole lot. Wow, it's a pretty so yeah.
Barren week.
We're gonna be waiting and wondering. A lot of people are gonna be on that Ni no Kuni 2 and Far Cry action, but that is not Switch related. So let's just have it be a comment crazy week. When you see the video, comment a bunch, and we'll bring back another big comment for us next week. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. We love you so much. Can't wait to see you again. For myself, for Gabe, for Raylan, for you. Big love all around. Until next time, SwitchForce out.